New York City mayoral candidates throw themselves at federal agents hoping for political brownie points. Senator Alex Padilla cries on the Senate floor, and President Trump issues several direct statements about Iran while meeting with the National Security Council. I'm Tony Kinnett, host of the Daily Signal's Tony Kinnett Cast, syndicated nationally at 7 p.m. Eastern. It is Wednesday, June 18th, 2025. This is the Daily Signal's top news in 10. Yesterday, two mayoral Democrat candidates for New York City, as well as Governor Kathy Hochul, caused quite a scene after mayor candidate Brad Lander was arrested for interfering with Immigration Customs Enforcement operations. According to Fox 5, Lander attempted to sneak an individual out that ICE was there to arrest, an illegal immigrant, trying to essentially help the individual dodge detention. Lander, of course, claims that he's just escorting individuals to and from the courthouse. Here's what that looks like.
Let go when you show me the judicial warrant.
Where is it?
Sir, where is the warrant?
I have it in my hand here.
I would like to see the warrant. I would like to see the warrant, and then I will let go. I would like to see the warrant, and then I will let go. Take him in. 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 Let's go. You don't have the You don't have the authority to arrest U.S. citizens. Sir, you don't have the authority to arrest U.S. citizens. You don't have the, I'm not obstructing, I'm standing right here in the hallway. I asked to see the judicial warrant. By asking for a judicial warrant, you don't have the authority to arrest U.S. citizens asking for a judicial warrant.
Stay back. Go too. Sorry. No way. I'm safe.
Now, interfering with a federal operation or arrest is indeed illegal, and that got him detained, to which Kathy Hochul had to go and pick him up later. This video was mocked widely online, looking, at least as according to a couple of pundits say, like a parent picking up a child from daycare. During an earlier press conference, this is how Hochul described the arrest of Lander for, again, the direct on-video interference with a federal arrest.
Do you want to know what I really think? Please. It's bullshit. How dare they take an elected official who's been going down there for weeks to escort people who are afraid to walk into a courthouse in the United States of America, because despite them having legal status and following the rules and making their appointments, that they don't know what's going to happen to them. So Brad Lander has stepped up to be a guiding help for them. And this is what happens to him. What the hell is happening to this country? I just left Little Haiti. People are being traumatized. Small businesses, people walking down the street. When I was there in August, the streets were mobbed. People were walking down the sidewalks. There were vendors everywhere. The traffic was crowded. Today, there was silence. People are living in fear. One woman just told me the ICE agents are going in and out of buildings there.
Hochul then claimed that all of the charges had been dropped against the mayoral candidate Lander.
And that's when I got word of what had happened to my colleague in government, our controller, Brad Lander. The video is shocking. I knew I needed to come down here immediately and check on his whereabouts and do what I could to intervene. I'll let Brad speak about his experience. But to my knowledge, the charges, there are no charges. Charges have been dropped. He walks out of there a free man. But here.
Zoran Mamdani, one of the other Democrat candidates for mayor in New York City and also an openly avowed communist, also tried to throw himself at federal agents in what may have been an attempt to get himself arrested, and that didn't quite work out. Speaking of not quite working out, Senator Alex Padilla took to the floor of the Senate today to describe his experience after he rushed Secretary Noem's podium without any identification or security clearance on him, and then was temporarily detained.
I was forced to the ground. First on my knees, and then flat on my chest. And as I was handcuffed and marched down a hallway, repeatedly asking, why am I being detained? Not once did they tell me why. I pray you never have a moment like this. But I will tell you, in that moment, a lot of questions came to my mind. First of all, where are they taking me? Because I know I'm not just being escorted out of the building. Am I being arrested here? And what will a city already on edge from being militarized think when they see their United States senator being handcuffed just for trying to ask a question?
Pedilla also made the claim that the majority of immigrants currently in ICE custody have no prior criminal conviction.
Now, the president will tell you that this is just about undocumented immigrants, about law and order, and about targeting dangerous, violent criminals. If it was just about targeting dangerous, violent criminals, there would be no disagreement, there would be no debate. But we know differently. We don't think, we know differently. Public data released by the administration shows that the majority of immigrants currently in ICE custody have no prior criminal conviction. And new reporting shows that less than 10% of immigrants taken into ICE custody since October have no serious criminal convictions.
However, as pointed out by the Daily Signal's Lorenzo Prieto, the Department of Homeland Security has stated that 75% of ICE arrests were criminal illegal aliens with convictions or pending charges. And after arriving back in Washington, D.C. from the G7 conference, he left early. President Trump, starting on Monday night into Tuesday morning, began issuing a series of statements right as the National Security Council began convening about Iran and the series of actions taken by Israel and its military, as well as the regime and possible instances of negotiation. First, on Air Force One leading into his landing in Washington, D.C., the president intimated that he was not interested in negotiation. That time had passed.
I don't know. I've been negotiating. I told them to do the deal. They should have done the deal. Their cities have been blown to pieces. They've lost a lot of people. They should have done the deal. I told them do the deal. So I don't know. I'm not too much in a mood to negotiate now.
Specifically, the president was not interested in a ceasefire, but an end to the entire matter.
An end. A real end, not a ceasefire. An end.
So something that would be permanent.
Yeah, or giving up entirely.
This was followed in the early hours of yesterday morning by 3 posts by the President of the United States on Truth Social, which stated over the span of the half hour in this order, quote, "We now have complete and total control of the skies over Iran. Iran had good sky trackers and other defensive equipment, and plenty of it, but it doesn't compare to American-made, conceived, and manufactured stuff. Nobody does it better than the good old US of A." Quote, "We know exactly where the so-called supreme leader is hiding. He is an easy target, but is safe there. We are not going to take him out, kill, at least not for now. But we don't want missiles shot at civilians or American soldiers. Our patience is wearing thin. Thank you for your attention to this matter." Followed finally by, quote, "unconditional surrender," end quote. Now, there's a lot more to dig into on this issue and a lot of other breaking news from around the United States, like immigration numbers, ICE operations, and how certain Democrat congressmen and, activist judges are getting that injunction fever. For that, you'll have to head down to the description and make sure you're subscribed to the Tony Kinnett Cast so you can join us this evening at 7 p.m. for that entire mess wrapped up in a lovely box for you to enjoy. I'm Tony Kinnett, and this has been the Daily Signal's Top News in 10. Take care.